So we will do invocation prayers first. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnapristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakti Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So everybody is getting adjusted to the Friday schedule. I think it's better than Sunday, right?
Yes.
Huh?
Lot better.
Lot better than Sunday because everybody can sleep late and don't have to worry to wake up early on Sunday. And best thing is we don't have to cook on Friday. Oh, sorry, everybody has to cook on Friday. So there is a few things I would like to talk today, especially we'll read from here. But if time permits, I would also like to talk about Ekadasi, because tomorrow is Ekadasi. And I don't remember if we ever talked about Ekadasi here in this program. Right? How many of us know about Ekadasi?
We never practiced. We know it's Ekadasi, but we never practiced.
Okay, good. So, because we know it's Ekadasi, but we never practice. So, I just saw like 4 hands or 5 hands. So, it's like 20% of us would know about it. And so, I think we should talk about Ekadasi. And what is the benefit of Ekadasi? And if you would like to, or if you would choose to follow the Ekadasi, how one should do that. So, there is 2 sections in here. One is Srinamamrita, the nectar of the holy name, and the second is from Bhagavad Gita, 17th chapter, and they are talking about, there are 3 texts. It talks about dana or charity and how charity should be given. And प्रसाद प्रभु वर्षा माता जी आप लोग तो एकादशी की कथा के वक्त थे वहाँ पे लास्ट संडे जब एकादशी था तो नहीं थे. So there was once one cowherd girl, Gopi, in Vrindavan. And, she sells milk, right? And किसी ने इंडिया में दूध खरीदा होगा तो जो दूध बेचने आते हैं, so they have one measuring, they have a stick to it, and you say, give me 1 liter, so he'll measure 2 times and so on. So this Gopi used to live in a village, so she had a lota, you know lota? It's like this shaped. And she used to keep lota, and somehow ek share, 500 grams is 1 lota and 1 liter is 2 lota. So she has been, since her childhood, she's been used to using lota to give milk to everybody. Somehow she's going to get married and they said, just buy some saris and some dresses. So go to city. So city is Mathura. She goes to Mathura. And first time in her life she goes to Mathura. And Normally in India, the girls, the parents bring things and Mausi or somebody, mama. It's first time she's going out to shop and she goes to the shopkeeper who's selling sari and she says, show me some good saris. So he shows her some good saris and she likes, says, okay, give me that. So he says, okay, I'll have to cut it for you. She goes, okay, 6 war, like 6 yard. He says, okay, cut properly. So the guy, he took a measuring stick and he started measuring. And she started shouting at the guy, saying, are you a cheater? How come you measure with that? Take my lota to measure this thing. Lota is the right thing to measure. Because since her childhood, she has been used that her lota is the only measure. Right? So that's what she thinks. Everybody should measure by her lota, and that is the right measurement. So similarly, Thakurji has given us one lota. Everybody. Right? This is like a lota upside down. And we think everything that fits in this lota is the right measurement. We try to measure the world according to our lota. And just like the gopi, we think if it doesn't fit here, then it's not true. It's not supposed to be believable. If it fits here, then it meets my lota. It sounds funny, but that's how we live, everybody else. But unfortunately, world doesn't move according to our lota, according to what we think here is correct. World is governed by universal laws. One example of universal law is a compass. No matter where you put compass, it will always point. No matter where. Basement, upstairs, downstairs, this side, that side, upside down. Always it will find north and point to north. Those are called universal laws. So what are some other universal laws? Huh?
Gravity.
Gravity is another universal. No matter what you do. The definition of universal law is it should be correct, it should be applicable in all situations, to everybody equally, and at any age. Right? It's not that 500 years ago there was no gravity, now there is gravity, it is existing. So there are called universal laws, which are put in here for the governance of everybody. And people, knowingly or unknowingly, they follow universal law. Another universal law is whoever takes birth has to, no exception. It's not that you've been paying so much tax, so yeah, or you haven't paid your tax, so you stay here more and work and make sure you pay taxes. No, nothing like that. You may be very beautiful, or you may be very handsome. Does not matter. It applies equally. And another universal law is birth. Whoever takes birth will always follow a certain cycle of growth. And he will have old age, he will have disease. That's a universal law of disease. Another universal law is of karma. Just like a tax is a universal law for us in America. No matter what you do, you cannot escape taxing. You can say, I don't believe in it. It does not matter. The IRS will knock at your door if you don't believe in it. It's up to us whether we want to be made believe or we want to voluntarily believe. But there are universal laws at different level. Like I work for IBM. IBM has some universal laws which are applicable to each and every employee of IBM. Similarly, for governing of this universe and the material world, there are universal laws that everybody has to follow. Right? Whether we say I believe it in or not, it does not matter. If you don't believe, you'll be forced to believe in it. Just like you may say, I don't believe in the law of red light and green light. If I don't see any cars, I will go. It's okay. Then they have people to enforce that law. And they will make sure they'll beat you up till you follow the law. You can keep running red light and they'll keep charging you, and one day they'll take away your driving license. You can't drive anymore, cannot break red light anymore. Right? So those are there are so many universal laws in the life. One universal, and then there is universal needs in the life. Right? What is one universal need?
Food.
Food,
Air.
air to breathe, food, right? Water. And the most basic universal need on which everything is resting. Wanted to be loved and to love somebody. Isn't that true? Everybody wants to be loved And everybody wants to love somebody. That's the most universal need for everyone, isn't it? But what we are doing, we are using our lota and we are not thinking about the universal laws. We have made our own laws, make believe laws. And when we try to follow those laws, they give us trouble. For example, one universal law is, or one universal need is, everybody is seeking happiness. Isn't that true? Each and every person is seeking happiness. That's a universal need. And from where does real happiness come is also defined. Right? And that's a universal law also, that the real happiness comes from serving somebody.
Serve the higher one.
Huh?
To serve the
Serve a
higher
higher authority.
higher.
There is no, कोई उसमें question करने की बात ही नहीं है. That's a proven fact. That's a universal law, whether we believe it or not. Knowingly or unknowingly, we are always trying to serve somebody, and we are trying to serve a higher authority all the time. Now, sometimes we don't know who is the higher authority, and we may serve wrong people as a higher authority. For example, if you are caught violating a traffic light in India, and then there is a Havaldar standing and there is a police inspector standing in a regular dress, we may don't know who is the real authority. You may try to give money to Havaldar, but he cannot do much. And the inspector will say, hey, you have to pay me. Once you pay me, I'll let you go, no matter what happens. So sometimes we don't recognize who is the higher authority. So mistakenly, at times, we think our needs or my needs of my senses is a higher authority. And most of us believe that's the highest authority, right? After our spouse or our family. Right? Everybody is trying to satisfy the needs of their senses. Isn't that true? Somehow or other. Maybe to take care of the family, we put it as a secondary. But at the end of the day, it's a basic requirement. People sometimes fight with their wives. I don't ask for anything. I just want to make sure that you put enough namak in the dal. Baba, you cannot do that much, then what is the use of me doing so many things for you? So at least the tongue wants enough namak. Something. There is some basic need that we want to satisfy our senses. But the problem is, we try to seek happiness by so many means, but the happiness is not coming in our life. It is fleeting. We buy good cars, we buy good houses thinking that will give us happiness. Maybe we get married to a beautiful wife or a handsome husband, very successful person. We may think I'll have very successful children. They will give me happiness. I will have nice bank balance, it will give me happiness. But nothing gives us happiness. We think it will, we work hard towards it, it fails. We think it will, we work hard towards it, it fails. So, then what gives us the real happiness in the life? Right? Because the universal need is, we all seek happiness. Jiver Swarup Hoy, Krishna Nityadas. We are all soul, right? So that's what's another universal truth? We are all soul, we are not this body. Whether we believe it or not, we are all soul, we are not this body. Someone may say, I don't believe in it, that's okay. It doesn't change the truth. So, a basic need of a soul is to remain happy. The soul is always happy, that's it. Jaise water, when you let water flow freely, it will always flow towards the lowest point. And somehow it will flow towards the lowest point. Jaise nadi hai, the river will always try to go and meet with the ocean. This is default situation. You may make dams, you may make so many things. It will keep pushing the dam. It wants to go to and meet the ocean. Similarly, the soul wants to be happy. But what is the universal law? The happiness can come in only certain situation for the soul. You cannot be happy. I may say that, okay, if I have to pay $20,000 taxes every year, I'll pay $20,000 to that temple and consider that as my taxes paid. The government will not let you go. You may pay that 20, but you owe me still another 20. Right? So we may say that, okay, I want to serve somebody. Why should I serve Krishna? Why should I serve the Lord? I will serve somebody, so I'll serve somebody else. Consider that as my service, now make me happy. You'll get some happiness. But permanent happiness, universal law is permanent happiness comes when we serve the Supreme Personality of God. Why permanent happiness comes when we serve the Supreme Personality of God? Because we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. When the part serves the whole, that is the only time the happiness comes. For example, we all came here driving a car. A gear train is a part of a car mechanism, a powertrain. One of the gear in the powertrain says, why do I have to serve this powertrain? Why do I have to serve the car? Let them go like this, I'll go like this today. As soon as he starts going like this, what will happen? Talk, 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 talk. The gear will break. And the car will also stop. So the gear is happy if it keeps moving in the right direction and serves the whole. As a matter of fact, after every few thousand miles, it will also get oil. If it keeps serving the whole properly. Similarly, our hand, that's an example. The hand has to serve the body, right? So the happiness comes from the service of the Supreme Lord. यहाँ पे जो भी भक्त लोग बैठे हैं, those who are serving Shyam Sundar in some way or form, they have realized this practically. That when they serve him, the happiness comes. He reciprocates, the happiness reciprocated. Okay? So that is what Prabhupada is trying to say here in Namamrita. That when a person starts chanting the holy name properly, which is the Yug Dharma of this present day and age, what happens is once he starts chanting, by chanting and chanting, the impurities in the heart is removed and understanding and a relationship with Krishna is established and the desire to serve Krishna awakens naturally by chanting. And when that desire happens, we will seek happiness from service of Krishna, but all other happinesses will look very dull in front of it. That is a very common experience by all the devotees. The devotees, they might be, I know so many devotees who used to go to bar and they used to drink and enjoy every Friday night, and they started coming to a Friday program in Harrisburg. And after some time, they were saying we had so many friends and we had so many parties. Suddenly they all stopped coming to our house. And because there is nothing to enjoy because now that guy doesn't drink beer, he doesn't go out on Friday nights, right? All those things. So suddenly the interests are different. And slowly they find somebody else to roam around with. And this person, who before was not able to pass his Friday without having a drink and going out, and now if he would stay home, it would be like a jail for him. That person is so happy, cooking in the evening, coming to the program with Prasad, sitting with the devotees, doing kirtan and going back home. Suddenly the definition of happiness completely changes, right? Because the holy name is entering in the heart, it is cleaning the heart. Cheto darpanam arjanam, bhaumaha davagni nirvapanam, sreya kairava chandrika, vitaranam vidyavadu jivanam. Cheto darpanam arjanam, chitta darpan, the mirror of the consciousness gets cleaned. How does it get cleaned? By constantly chanting the holy name of the Lord. That is the Kalyug ka dharma hai Bhagwan ka naam lena. Now we may say, I don't believe in it. But that's a universal law. We may choose not to believe in it, that's okay. But that's the law. And even though we choose not to believe in it, even accidentally we take the name, it helps. For example, as you are driving the car and there is a truck passing and there is a lot of rain, so there is puddles of water. The truck will splash a lot of water. You didn't invite the water to be splashed on you, but still your car will be cleaned by that water. So similarly, most of us in India, most of us who are from India, we never go to the car wash. Right? Indra Maharaj does that seva for us. Whenever it rains, the car is washed. Why spend $5 to go in automatic? More than that. So Mataji jana. Only time we go to the automatic is when somebody comes from India. You want to impress that person. Then you make him sit in the front seat. So I'll give you a ride of your lifetime. Then you take him for a car wash. $7? And that is when you fill up at Turkey Hill and they give you $2 off a cow. Then you pray, I hope somebody comes from India. Any take, right? The point I'm trying to make is accidentally our car gets washed. Similarly, just by accidentally hearing Krishna's name, the mind and the consciousness gets cleansed. There is a very famous story of Dhruv Maharaj. How many of us know Dhruv Maharaj? All of us, mostly, right? When we were small, we would sleep on the terrace in summer. I think every one of us who has slept has pointed at the Dhruva star. Where's the Dhruva star? Our mothers or parents or brothers, somebody. Where's the Dhruva star? Who's that Dhruv? His father was sitting, right? His father was married to two ladies, and one was more dear to his father. Uttanpad was the name of his father. And his father was son of Brahma. Very exalted position, son of Brahma. So Dhruv once goes to his father. His father is playing with his stepbrother. So he naturally got attracted, I want to play. So he starts climbing on his father's lap to play. He's 5 years old. And the father is also lovingly trying to pick up the boy, but his stepmother says, Dhruv, if you really want to sit in your father's lap, you need to take birth from my womb. Your father doesn't like your mother so much. I'm his favorite wife. So only my child can play in his lap and will become the next king. If you want to really play in his lap, you have to take birth from my womb. What did Dhruv Maharaj do? He started crying. When he started crying, he went back to his mother. Mother asked, why are you crying, beta? He says, Mom, this thing happened today. So she said, what can I do? That's our fortune. So he says, who can make me be bigger than my father? I want to become bigger than my father. Who can do that for me? 5-year-old. The mother did not say, watch Disney World. It's okay. Mother said, beta, Vishnu can do that. It's very important what we feed to our children in young age. There is a saying in tennis, catch them while they are young. If you catch them while they are. In India, how many tennis players? We only know Vijay Amritraj and then his brother. And probably they didn't even win anything, but they were our heroes, right? So Vijay Amritraj and his brother Anand Amritraj or something. I don't know if there are more anymore right now. I'm an old person. So, because tennis was not very famous, but then there was a saying, catch them while young. When they are young, you put however you want to. You can bend them. So, at the young age, we have to give them the right direction. At least we have to teach them what are the right universal laws. So Dhruv's mother said, Vishnu can do that for you. So where will I find Vishnu? In the forest. He started living and he left his house and he says, I'll come back when I become bigger than my father. I will please Vishnu. As he is walking, Narad Muni meets him in the middle of the road. Narad Muni wanted to test a small baby, 5-year-old. Smaller than him probably. Where are you going? I'm going to the forest. Why? I want to search for Vishnu. Why? I want to become bigger than my father. Who's your father? Uttanpad. Oh my God, he's the big king. I want to, not just my father, I want to have bigger kingdom than my father's father, Brahma. He says, oh my God. So how will I say, worship Vishnu? Okay. Will you be able to do that? How should I worship Vishnu? Chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That's the name given. Each and every mantra is a name. हम लोग को भगवान का नाम बोलेंगे तो लगेगा ये क्या फालतू चीज बोल रहे. कोई बोलेगा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड मंत्र लिख के देता हूँ तो खुश. और उसका चार्ज किया था तो और खुश. Because we think everything that is expensive has to be more valuable. So there was one Maharshi, while Prabhupada, when he came here in 1960s, there was another Maharshi. He was somewhere in Midwest and he was selling mantra for $15. And people were going and buying mantra for $15. I don't know, nobody became a devotee after chanting. It was some, bakwas. Because there was no name of Krishna in the mantra. The mantra becomes effective when the name of Krishna is there. Just like the check becomes effective if your bank's name is written on it. You may write a check or any piece of paper, don't matter. Sovereign Bank or Santander Bank with your account address, everything needs to be written on it, right? Similarly, Krishna's names need to be in the mantra. So he gave this mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Dhruv Maharaj, at the age of 5, went to Vrindavan. Nearby Mathura, nearby Jamuna, he stood and he did tapascharya for 6 months. At the end of 6 months, Vishnu appeared in front of him. Dhruv Maharaj, when he saw Vishnu, he started crying. Because he's seeing Lord Vishnu, the ultimate goal of everybody's life. Suddenly the soul gets attracted, right? Because the soul belongs to him, the super soul. So there's genuine attraction. There are some people you meet for the first time and you feel you know them forever. You want to become their best friend. There are some people you meet for the first time and you feel like, oh, I wish I don't see them ever again. I get that a lot. So, that is all relationship from the previous lifetime. Why suddenly somebody loves hot food and his brother loves sweet food? It's same parents. One likes sweet, one likes hot, right? One likes to draw and one likes to paint. It's all different. It's all coming from previous birth. So many impressions that are stored in our life from previous birth. Our mind is like concrete. In concrete, when they pour concrete, the children write their name on concrete. And then once the concrete freezes, it's solid forever. So similarly, each and everything we do, the body, there is a mind in the body, the consciousness, it keeps taking pictures. And it stores all the likes and dislikes. So many births worth of like and dislike we bring with us. Right? So Dhruv Maharaj, when he saw Krishna, he himself got attracted because that's his source. He's my everything, right? So he's crying and Vishnu says, what do you want? He's not able to speak. He takes the conch shell and he touches Dhruva's cheek with the conch shell. And Dhruva is able to now recite Sanskrit prayers by the mercy of Vishnu, Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu says, what do you want? He says, my dear father, I saw you, I don't want anything in my life. My life is complete. Just take me with you. Make me a devotee. And Bhagavan Vishnu says, no, I know you came here for something. He says, yes, I came here thinking that it is a diamond, but now I realize that I was looking for broken glass because I have really found the real diamond. So Bhagavan Vishnu says, yet I want to give you what you want. If I don't give you, then people will say Vishnu cheated the small boy. Right? I want to teach everybody that my devotees gets what they want. So he says, I'll give you kingdom bigger and better than your grandfather. And then ultimately you will become my devotee and you will come to me. And I will live at your place. So Dhruva has a planet which does not get annihilated even when the whole universe gets annihilated. But that is the power of chanting the holy name of Krishna. Chanting the holy name of Krishna. एक साधारण अंधेरे रूम के अंदर, we all lived in India. In monsoon, what is the universal law in monsoon? As soon as it rains, the light goes away. So as soon as it rains, the light goes away at night. Okay? And then somebody screams, "Saap, saap, saap." Whether you are the most, brave, the hairs will start, stand only for you. 1-2 मिनट के लिए तो बाल खड़े हो जाएंगे. कहाँ पे आकर? सोचिए नाम में कितना शक्ति है. पत्नी बोलेगी आज आपके लिए मैंने पिज्जा बनाया है. अरे जॉब पे बैठे बैठे मुंह में पानी आना चालू. देखा भी नहीं है. देखिए शक्ति कितना है शब्द के अंदर, है ना? How much power it is, right? Somebody who's, he gets married and she is in India, he is here, and she just says, I love you in a very soft voice. And here that guy becomes so soft. He may be managing 50 people in office, but here I'll do whatever you want. What is the power of sound? This is the power of sound. The sound energy is the most powerful energy. You know what a bomb blast? When a bomb blasts, what is that? Sound energy coming out. So the sound energy is the most powerful and therefore it is employed in Kali Yuga. When sound energy is used to take Krishna's name, it becomes extremely powerful. Therefore, the very important thing, the taste of real, when we chant the name of Krishna, the heart will change. It's a guarantee, it's a universal law. There is no question that the heart will not change. But we have to chant to experience that. One who cannot change, for example, I'll say my nice rasgullas today. I don't eat halwa. but I want to know how tasty it is. I may describe how tasty it is, but that's all. He will not know. But as soon as he takes a morsel and puts on his tongue, he will exactly know what I was telling him, right? So one has to experience himself. The name will change, the holy name, भगवान का नाम हृदय को साफ करेगा और भगवान से संबंध बनेगा. It is not something new or made up thing. Each and every Islam talks about the same thing. Christianity talks about the same thing. Jewish people, the क्या है उनका धर्म को क्या बोलते हैं? Judaism. उसमें भी सेम चीज है. हाँ? जो भी ऑथेंटिक धर्म है सब जगह पे एक ही चीज है. कलयुग में भगवान का नाम, the holy name. And once everybody starts taking the holy name, just like Dhruv Maharaj's heart got transformed. If you go to any ISKCON temple, you will find thousands and thousands of examples of people whose hearts are transformed. Thousands and thousands. Valmiki used to kill animals and leave them half dead. Why? Because he enjoyed seeing them die. That Valmiki. Narad Muni thought he should have mercy. That is the nature of sadhu. पर दुखे उपकार करे अन मन अभिमान न आने रे वैष्णव जन तो कहने रे कहिए जे पीड़ पर आई जाने. What is a Vaishnava? Who knows that this person is suffering. He will take personal inconvenience to go to that person and solve the suffering of that person. So Narad Muni went to Valmiki and said, my dear sir, why do you kill these animals? He says, to manage my family. He says, you know, it is a very sinful activity. He says, maybe it is, but I do it for my family. He says, you may be doing for your family. Go ask your family. They don't want to be part of your sins at all. They don't want to be. He says, no, they are my family. They will. So go ask. He went, he asked the wife, because I am providing for you and our children by killing animals, when time comes and if I have to go to hell, will you come with me? She goes, no problem. I thought you were an engineer when I got married. Dad told me. पहले शादियों में ऐसा होता था. They say he's a doctor, veterinary founder, he's a compounder. so ऐसे पहले होता था. आज भी होता होगा क्या पता. So she said, I'm not coming with you. And then he asked his children. He says, it's your job to provide for us. Why should I come to hell with you? You go to hell. That's what children say nowadays to their parents after they grow up, right? So Valmiki came back dejected. He says, they don't want to. Then Narad Muni says, so why don't you surrender? Why don't you chant the name of Lord Ramchandra? This is the problem. If we are leading a sinful life, what is a sinful life? There are universal laws, as we talked. Anything which is against the universal law is considered to be a sinful life. So, sinful life is not like the Krishna is like a slave driver and a punisher. But the problem with the sinful life is when we follow that kind of lifestyle, our mind and heart will not want to go towards the right thing. No matter how much you try, it will not go towards doing the right thing. You come to somebody's program for bhajan and you see a purse lying, you will take out $10 from it. They are doing kirtan, you go upstairs and try to check everybody's coat. And how much money is there somewhere. You take somebody's key, open the car, take money out of it. Because our consciousness is just that. Right? Somebody whose consciousness in food, he'll just waiting when it will be over, what I can eat. He'll check out like me, there is halwa today. Things like that. So, that is called sinful. Sinful doesn't mean a bad person, a person with horns. But sins prevent us from having right consciousness. So because Valmiki was leading such a life, he did not have the right consciousness. तो उसके लिए भगवान का नाम लेना मुश्किल हो गया. He could not pronounce the name of the Lord. This is the biggest problem. Therefore, a sadhu has to give mercy on us, kripa. Kripa साध्य है भगवान की भक्ति. So Narad Muni gave kripa on him. ठीक है, आप राम नहीं बोल सकते, मरा मरा बोलिए. मारना तो आप जानते हैं ना अच्छे से, तो मरा मरा बोलिए. वाल्मीकि मरा मरा का पाठ करने लगे. देखिए राम का नाम उल्टा जपने पर भी उनका हृदय साफ हो गया. उन्होंने दुनिया का सबसे बड़ा काव्य वाल्मीकि रामायण लिखा. And is considered one of the acharyas in our Vedic tradition. So, the test of real change of heart, the change of heart happens when we chant. And what is the test? Whether the chanting of the holy name is working or not? The test is that wants detachment from the material enjoyment. Whatever we used to enjoy material things before, slowly, slowly it becomes distasteful. Just like, when we grew up, when we used to watch movies, there were only few ads. The Bharatiya Chalchitra something will come for black and white, and then Viko Vajradanti ad. And Viko Vajradanti, the one ad, the one person is, ripping off a sugar cane, and then one old person is breaking akhrot. Akhrot ko kya bolta hai? Walnut. हाँ? So a person who has that strong teeth, who can break walnut, हाँ? देखिए ये संस्कार कैसे हैं. मैं मजबूत दांत सोच रहा हूँ, मुझे विको वज्रदंती याद आ रहा है. मैं सोच के नहीं आया था कि विको वज्रदंती के बारे में, तो जब भी मजबूत दांत की बात मैं सोच रहा हूँ, क्योंकि ये संस्कार यही है. मूवी देखो, उसके पहले क्या ऐड आई. वी वांटेड टू मेक श्योर वी गो अर्ली बिकॉज कोई भी ऐड छुट्टी नहीं चाहिए. एंड इन इंटरवल दे यूज्ड टू शो स्लाइड शो. वो स्लाइड शो भी पूरा देखने का. So this is the संस्कार. अभी भी जाना बहुत मुश्किल है. Imagine how hard it is to go. इतने साल पहले विको वज्रदंती. But that person who can break the walnut with his teeth, if you rub lemon on his tooth, he can't even break chapati. It has become the दांत खट्टे हो जाते हैं. Similarly, when we chant the holy name of Lord, the same senses which were enjoying the material world, they become like ones which has दांत के ऊपर खटाई लगाई जैसे हो जाते हैं. And now they cannot enjoy the material world. There was one American person called Tamal Krishna Goswami. When he became devotee, later on he became a sadhu. He used to love fish very much. So KFC, they have fish ke pakode. So Prabhupada sometimes would make urad dal pakoda. And he says, I cannot eat urad dal pakoda. Prabhupada said, why? He said, it smells like, it reminds me of the fish pakoda. So, all ये जो टेंडेंसी है हमारे में है, पर अब धीरे धीरे दांत खट्टे हो गए हमारे भगवान का नाम जपने में. अब उड़द दाल पकोड़ा जो फिश पकोड़ा जैसा दिख रहा है वो खा भी नहीं सकते उसको, even though he knows it is vegetarian. So this is the change of heart. What is the test of change of heart? That slowly our tendency towards material enjoyment decreases. Slowly हर बार सेल आएगा, we won't feel like going and using that sale anymore. That is favorite pastime. Sunday morning, open the sale paper, right, and see where you can buy the deals. And you just fill up the closets. It's a disorder actually, where you just compulsive buying. Right? So Saunak Rishi says to Sutta Goswami, if one's heart does not change, tears do not flow from his eyes, his body does not shiver, nor his hair stand on end as he chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it should be understood that his heart is hard as iron. This is due to his offense at the lotus feet of the Lord's holy name. ये तो बहुत दूर की बात है कि when we chant, the tears will come from our eyes. But we have that experience. If we need something very badly, if we wanted to watch movies, and our father would say, you're not going, you're studying, tears will come in our eye. Because there was something that was attracting our heart, we are not able to do that. Similarly, by constantly chanting the holy name, it will attract our heart so much that it will become very dear to us. When it becomes very dear to us, the tears, we will start missing Krishna. We will start saying, where is Krishna? Why am I away from him? Why I can't see him? And we will start, slowly the hair will start standing on the end. Because we are missing Krishna. It's viraha. And the tears are flowing. You cannot speak. Your kantha is choked. Right? These are all the symptoms. But those symptoms don't appear on us because we are making offenses at the lotus feet of the holy name. There are 10 offenses. I will not go in that detail. Because in order to commit offense, we have to first chant. So let us first chant, then worry about offenses. So I want to sincerely recommend all the devotees. I know some of us are chanting here. But whoever is not, just take Japamala at home. It only takes 5 minutes or 7 minutes to chant one round. Slowly, as you chant diligently on a daily basis, the taste will develop. And then the taste will develop, you will want to chant more and more and more. ऐसा होता है कई कई भक्त हमने देखे हैं, जब खत्म होता है तो जब माला नीचे नहीं रख सकते, उनको दुख होता है कि जब, हमको ऐसा कभी नहीं हुआ आज तक कि जब खत्म होने पर दुख हो जाए, कि हमको तो लगता है हाँ आज का काम हो गया, अब कल तक, कल जल लेट आवे तो अच्छा है, it should not come very fast, right? But slowly this taste gets developed in the heart of devotees, that they want to chant the holy name, right? It's like eating rasgulla. Prabhupada used to say chanting holy name is like eating rasgulla. We can never comprehend that because we haven't developed that taste yet. For us it is still bitter because it is, oh, I have to do this. But slowly, if we keep doing it diligently, we should take a vow, I'll chant I'll chant 3 rounds every day for a month. Next month I'll move to 4. Next month I'll move to 5. 6 month I will do this experiment. Okay? And I'll keep increasing. After 6 months I do not feel any bliss from this, I'll throw it out. And I'll go back to my TV serials. But one has to do this experiment. Unless we take it, we will not know what is the enjoyment in it. And what is the test that it is working? The test is that material enjoyment will start looking dimmer and dimmer and dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. It is a personal experience, and it is the experience of many devotees. They have shared personally with me, and I have seen it happen in many devotees now. Devotees who are very angry, people who are very angry, छोटी छोटी बात पे गाली गलौज करने वाले, अपनी पत्नी को मारने वाले, छोटी छोटी बात पे गुस्सा करने वाले, all those people, after chanting for a few years, they become so mellow, they become so sweet, they become so humble. They feel that, they are nothing and everybody else is their master. All this transformation, it comes in their life just by chanting the holy name. And if we feel that I need to see real life examples, go to Vrindavan or go to any ISKCON temple. You will find at least 4:30 in the morning, you will find devotees chanting. I guarantee you, sit down, do the Mangala Aarti at 4:30, Tulsi Aarti at 5 o'clock. After that, for 1.5 hours, they chant. Even if you don't chant, if you just sit in the atmosphere, after that you feel so calm, so peaceful. And my personal advice, if you chant early in the morning before going to work, the whole day goes as so smooth, you're so smart, so calm, you're so situated at the right place. No matter what happens around you, you can take very right decisions all the time, not get agitated. It's amazing the effects of chanting. As a matter of fact, the devotees have published papers and research in the Science Journal that when you chant, they take 2 trays of moong, like a wheat grass or moong. They have used moong. In one tray they put moong, which will sprout. In another tray also they put moong. One tray they put outside somewhere. They play movie songs or whatever. And in this tray they sit next to it and they chant Hare Krishna loudly. And they put Prabhupada's Hare Krishna recording. They say that the moong which has grown with Prabhupada's chanting and their own chanting, they grow faster, number 1. Number 2, they are more healthier when evaluated in a laboratory. They have published in scientific journal this. And the effect of chanting has been published in scientific journal as how it impacts the patients and how it helps patients to recover faster after any surgery or illness. The power of prayer is amazing. I mean, there's a lot of research done, and especially chanting. It's an amazing thing. So, I think everybody should try chanting, and the test of chanting is that the detachment from the material enjoyment, it will go away. One of the problems we have is, even though we are detached or we feel like we are detached, a lot of times we have inclination to give charity. हम लोग दान देते हैं. दान देने पर क्या चाहते हैं? हमारा नाम लिखा जाए.
पंखे के ऊपर.
अरे प्रभु जी, पंखे के ऊपर. कई लोग तो बेंच के ऊपर नाम लिखते हैं. लोग उसके ऊपर क्या क्या रख के बैठते हैं, है ना? Sometimes people put the name on the bench and people बेंच पे, फुटपाथ पे नाम लिखता है. हॉलीवुड हॉल फुटपाथ पे नाम लिखता है. So amazing है. और भगवान के मंदिर में क्यों नाम लिखवा रहे हैं वही समझ में नहीं आता. अपने पिताजी के घर पे कुछ चंदा दे दिया और वहां पे नाम लिखवाना चाहिए. अपना नाम लिखेंगे तो मैं दूंगा. क्या but that is the charity they give. So this charity, the desire for name and fame, that will also go down when we chant. When we chant, the real devotees, they don't want their name anywhere, they don't want their picture anywhere, they don't want anybody to know anything about them. There is one Swamiji, his name is Swami Ramsukh Das ji. I really like him. He is from Gita Press, Gorakhpur, and he served Bhaiji Hanuman Prasad Poddar. I am a big fan of Gita Press, Gorakhpur. Anybody has read books from Gita Press, Gorakhpur?
मैंने उसकी गीता का पढ़ा स्वामी सुखदास जी का,
स्वामी रामसुख दास
राम
जी का।
सुखदास जी का मैंने उनका ट्रांसलेशन पढ़ा है।
अरे क्या जालिम लिखते हैं स्वामी रामसुख दास जी। उनकी जो गीता है साधक संजीवनी, दिस थिक, आप वो पढ़ लेंगे, आपको गीता समझ में नहीं आए मैं मान ही नहीं सकता।
ऑनलाइन पीडीएफ है उसका।
ऑनलाइन पीडीएफ भी है।
मैंने ऑनलाइन पीडीएफ
बढ़िया है प्रभु जी। और उनकी किताबें हैं, आप पढ़ेंगे, सत्संग सुधा, ऑल दिस अमेजिंग बुक्स, एंड द वे ही टॉक्स, द वे ही राइट्स, amazing. It will just enter into your heart. Do you know what information is available about him? Zero. Why? It is his desire that nothing should be published about him ever. Not a single picture. You can search whole Google, anything. Not a single picture available. Nobody knows who he is, where he was from, nothing. I mean, his close people would know, but no encouragement like that. Once somebody took a picture, मैं काफी बोल रहा हूँ आज, बहुत टाइम हो गया. Once somebody took picture and unknowingly and published it in a temple. Somehow he found out that in a temple in Rajasthan they have put his picture. He wrote a letter to that person and he says, ये हार्ड मांस और मल मूत्र से भरा शरीर, उसका फोटो लगाने का भगवान के मंदिर में आपको शोभा देता है. भगवान इतने सुंदर और चिन्मय है और उसमें हार्ड मांस के शरीर का फोटो उनके सामने लगाना अपमान है भगवान का. आप निकाल दीजिए, नहीं तो मैं कभी आपके गांव में आऊंगा नहीं. That is the dedication. No name, no fame. So this desire for name and fame, Bhaiji Hanuman Prasad Poddar, never, his picture was published till he was alive. Strong, मेरा फोटो कहीं पे भी छपना नहीं चाहिए. Because फोटो छपने से पूजा होनी चालू हो जाती है. उससे अहम आता है जीवन में. मेरा फोटो को नमन कर रहे हैं, मेरा फोटो ये है वो है. उनके पास एक राधा बाबा करके साधु रहते थे. वो आर्टिकल लिखते थे ना, एक साधु ऐसा लिखते थे, नहीं अपना नाम भी नहीं डालते. और आज भी उनके आर्टिकल्स की किताब बनाते हैं, भाई जी ने पब्लिश करी है, उसमें भी उन्होंने उनका नाम नहीं है. किसी एक साधु ने कल्याण नाम के मैगजीन में अपने लेख डाले थे. मेरी विनती पर उन्होंने मुझे अनुमति दी है उसको कंपाइल करके बुक के फॉर्म में डाला. उनकी विनती है मैं उनका नाम न लूँ. एक साधु के नाम से गीता प्रेस गोरखपुर से किताब छपती है, आप पढ़िएगा. आस्तिकता की आधारशिलाएं, पीडीएफ भी अवेलेबल है ऑनलाइन, आप ढूंढिएगा. आस्तिकता की आधारशिलाएं, राधा बाबा की लिखी हुई. कृष्ण लीला का चिंतन, राधा बाबा का लिखा. आप पढ़ेंगे रोंगटे खड़े हो जाएंगे. सुपर बुक्स. They were so elevated. Bhaiji Hanuman Prasad Poddar used to take darshan of Radharani and Krishna as if I am seeing you all. He was that elevated. That elevated. People used to come to him for advice, and what kind of people? Those people used to get pan bidi from Lalita Visakha in Vrindavan. Those kind of people would take pan bidi and come to Bhaiji and say, Bhaiji, what should I do with this remainder pan bidi? That elevated Bhaiji was. Nobody even knows anything about it. That is the desire for name and fame. आजकल तो लोग अपनी ऑटोबायोग्राफी छाप कर बेचते हैं. स्टैच्यू लगाते हैं, ऑटोबायोग्राफी छाप, राइट? So much अपना पूजा under the name of preaching. Why? If you want to preach, just preach. Why do you want to write about yourself? There is enough to be, talked about Krishna. There is no shortage of topics. Prabhupada used to say, there is no shortage of topics if you want to write about Krishna. Why do you want to write about yourself and publish? क्या फर्क पड़ेगा, कोई आपकी किताब पूरी पढ़ लेंगे, ठाकुर जी के पास जाएंगे, वापस नहीं जाएंगे. ठाकुर जी से प्रेम ही नहीं हो रहा है, आपसे प्रेम हो रहा है. हमारे गुरु महाराज हमको बताते थे, हमारे गुरु महाराज का हमको इंस्ट्रक्शन है, उनका फोटो घर में नहीं होना चाहिए कहीं पर, क्योंकि वो भी भाई जी के पास ही रहे हैं, पले बड़े हैं. तो हमको बताते थे कि भैया आपका स्वीकार इसलिए किया है कि हम आपको कृष्णा कॉन्शियस बनाना चाहते हैं, गुरु कॉन्शियस नहीं बनाना चाहते. That is what he always used to tell me. There are so many devotees you will find on the japa bag they have picture of the Guru. हमारा गुरु महाराज गुस्सा करते थे, क्या मेरा फोटो देख के तुमको. He used to say when they used to do Vyas Puja is when the appearance day of a Guru comes, they do puja. So he used to say, अरे आप यहाँ भोग लगाएंगे, मुझे वहाँ कुछ पता भी नहीं चल रहा क्या आपने भोग में लगाया है. तो ये सब करने का जरूरत ही नहीं है. बोलते this is all not needed. On Vyas Purnima you worship Vyas Dev. All gurus are worshipped in that worship. You don't have to worship me separately. So this name and fame, desire, it is very hard to go. Even a devotee desires that my name should be everywhere. After chanting holy name so much, the desire of name and fame does not go. Can you put my lectures online? Can you make a website for me? All these things. मेरे lecture सुनो. So this desire for name and fame does not go. Therefore, for us, that situation is not going to come. That our name and fame will be there for chanting of the holy name. But for us, situation will be that we'll be giving charity because we are गृहस्थ. तो charity किस तरह से देना चाहिए, इसके बारे में भगवद गीता में 17th chapter there is 3 sloka. I will not read Sanskrit. I'll read only English translation. Charity given out of duty without expectation of return at the proper time and place and to a worthy person is considered to be in the mode of goodness. 3 रूप से चैरिटी दी जाती है. In mode of goodness, in mode of passion, in mode of ignorance. Mode of passion, we normally practice mode of passion. I gave so much, I want this much back. You should put my name, right? And sometimes people give charity. I did that once. There was one Maharaj, he had come from Bangladesh and he was trying to build a temple for Rup Sanatan Goswami. And this is many years back. At that time, the bead bags we used to get, they were simple bead bags for Japamala. So somehow he had got bead bag on which embroidered Radha Krishna was there. So whoever would give donation, he would give that bead bag to them. To get that bead bag, we gave him the donation. Not that we wanted to, I, my wife and my brother-in-law, they all gave donation because we wanted that bead bag. And then we'd say, Maharaj, give me that one. Right? We were not so much worried about, I'm giving donation for a temple. So that is mode of passion. We want to get something in return. है ना? ये नारियल 5 नारियल तोड़ूंगा आपके घर के सामने. आप सोचिए हनुमान जी को क्या फर्क पड़ता है कितने नारियल तोड़े उसके सामने. पर बार्टर सिस्टम लगाया है ना. सब जगह पे मंदिर में पैसा देने पर they want you to कथा होती है तो जब डोनेशन देता है उसको सबसे आगे बिठाने का. क्यों? सबसे बड़ा भक्त है उसको आगे बिठाइए ना. ये क्या आपने वो सोफे में बैठेगा, बाकी सब भक्त लोग पीछे जमीन पे बैठेंगे. अरे भाई वैष्णव है तो कोई भक्त लोग कैसे ऐसा होगा, राइट? सो ऑल दिस थिंग डिजायर. सो इन गुडनेस एक्चुअली वी शुड a real devotee does not give charity. Charity का मतलब क्या है? Something which belongs to me I am giving away. A real devotee doesn't think anything belongs to him. Everything belongs to Krishna. तो वो जो दे रहा है वो तो चैरिटी कर ही नहीं रहा है. भगवान की सेवा, भगवान की इच्छा से किसी की सेवा कर रहा है, बस उतना ही. Real devotee doesn't give charity. He serves everybody, but he doesn't consider that as a charity because it is Krishna's money. He is utilizing for Krishna's children. Charity कहाँ से आ गई? My brother's daughter will come and she'll say, I want to eat a candy and I'll get a candy for her. Will it be a charity to her? No, she's my family member. It's not called a charity, right? My brother will buy a ticket for something for us to go. He's not doing charity for me. It's just out of love. Similarly, devotees don't do charity. But people who are not devoted, they are trying to do charity, then it is in 3 modes. First is mode of goodness. So at least we have to come to the level of mode of goodness. So before understanding what is mode of goodness, let's see what is the third class, the mode of ignorance. Maybe a lot of us will be there. A charity performed at an impure place, at an improper time, to unworthy person, or without proper attention and respect is said to be in the mode of ignorance. हमारे गुजराती में कहावत है, माफ करिएगा थोड़ा लैंग्वेज के बारे में, बोलते हैं ब्राह्मण को लोटा देने के बाद वो उसका क्या उपयोग करे वो सोचना नहीं चाहिए, वो पूजा में रखे या कुछ और करे. तो ये चैरिटी क्या मोड ऑफ इग्नोरेंस में हो गई कि नहीं? आप कुछ सोच ही नहीं रहे वो क्या करने वाला है इसके साथ, ब्राह्मण है कि भी नहीं. In India there are so many people who are just born in a Brahman family but they are not practicing Brahman. I know so many Brahmans who are born in a Brahmin family, they are working outside in a mill or some store or some company. But they will also come to take sidhu, like food and all those things on certain days. जैसे किसी के माताजी चल बसे उस दिन वो कुछ सीधा देना चाहते हैं तो ब्राह्मण को बुला लेंगे, आप ले जाओ. What we did, we just did a ritual that for my forefathers I am giving something away. Is Brahman not a Brahman? कुछ देखने का ही नहीं. The actual process is you give it to a real Brahman, and real Brahman is a real devotee. When you give it to him, he will cook, offer to Krishna, and he will honor it. So then you will get the effect of feeding a Vaishnava, and then he will be very happy, and he will say, जिसने भी ये खिलाया है भगवान उसका भला करना. When a Vaishnava prays for somebody, उसका भला होता है. हम लोग क्या करते हैं, एक काम है खत्म करो उसको. This is called in mode of ignorance. Proper time है कि नहीं, we never think. अभी टाइम नहीं है, शाम को आना. वो ब्राह्मण को हड़काएंगे, हैं अभी फोन मत करो, शाम को आना, मैं शाम को आपको देता हूँ. मैंने देखा है अपनी खुद की मौसी को इस तरह से देते हुए. In India, people who have money, they think everybody else is so filthy. वो तू ता करके बात करते हैं. कभी आप तो बोलेंगे ही नहीं उनको. एक काम वाली बेचारी आती है, उसको तू बोले, कितनी भी बड़ी हो, उसका लड़का हो इतना छोटा, वो भी बोलेगी ए मेरे लिए ये ला के दे. तमीज ही नहीं है बिल्कुल. क्यों? क्योंकि पैसे का मद है. मद बहुत बुरी चीज होती है, इंटॉक्सिकेशन होता है. तो most of us, we have seen charity being dealt in what? Impure place. हम कहीं भी खड़े होकर चैरिटी दे देते हैं, है ना. कभी कभी कोई भिक्षा मांगता है, उसको दे देते हैं. ये वो impure place, improper time, unworthy person. We don't check the worthiness of that person, or without proper attention and respect is to be said in mode of ignorance. ठीक है, तो लगता है हम लोग तो थोड़ा थोड़ा ऐसा किए ही है. Of the second, the middle level of charity. But charity performed with expectation of some return, or with desire for fruitive result, or in a grudging mood. Grudging mood क्या होता है? इसने इतना दिया, मैं उतना देता हूँ. There is sometimes people compete in a grudging mood. They give charity, or sometimes they don't want to give. I don't like this person, but I have to give because everybody is watching me. A lot of people sometimes they don't want to give in temple. But because if they don't give, then society will think he's a miser, so that they give. They have grudges, but they'll still give. It's said to be charity in a mode of passion. So when we give something to get something in return, most of us, we have seen charity being given so that we can get some blessing, किसी का कुछ अच्छा हो जाए. कभी कभी ऐसा बोलता है, तुम्हारा दिन अच्छा नहीं चल रहा है, एक काला कपड़ा, काला नमक, काला ये सब किसी को दे आओ, आपका सब ठीक हो जाएगा. ओ बेचारे को भले सब चिपके, अपना सब अच्छा हो जाना चाहिए, right? So that is all. That is, we are trying to get something in return. So this kind of charity, they don't do any good for us. They will destroy us. So what is at least okay charity? Charity in the mode of goodness, given out of duty. You should understand, I am a grihastha. It is my duty to serve all these people. So I am giving it out of duty, number one, without any expectation of return. No expectation that I should get this, they should respect me, nothing. At a proper time and place. And to a worthy person, that is very, very important, to a worthy person. If we give to an unworthy person, it's a big problem. Sometimes people, they don't think whom they are giving the money. कभी भिक्षा भी देता है, बहुत बार ऐसा होता है, भिक्षा देने पर वो आदमी वहाँ आके उसका बीड़ी पी लेगा, और कहीं लोग उसका जाके मीट खा लेंगे. So when they eat meat out of the money that you have given, you become participant in the sin that he has accrued. So one should be very, very careful how charity is given. But once when we are chanting nicely, this desire to give charity and name, everything will go away slowly. And then we will realize Krishna is my father, everybody is Krishna's children, I should serve them nicely. So when I do anything for them, it is just serving my brother. There is nothing to be proud of. Actually, I am so late in serving him. I should have served him before. Please excuse me that I am only serving you today. That becomes our. So, I will stop here. It's 8:27. With your permission, can I talk like 10-15 minutes about Ekadasi? Because Ekadasi is very important. Looks like Friday program jaldi khatam ho jata hai. Once, there was a demon called Mura. When the Devatas were defeated, they went to Lord Vishnu that, can you please help us? So Vishnu Bhagwan, he said that on a certain day you go and attack the demon Mura and I'll come and help you fight. So on that day, they all went and they attacked the city of Mura demon. And Bhagwan Vishnu also went and he helped them fight with Mura. Mura was so powerful, he kept fighting for Lord Vishnu for 1000 celestial years. 1000 celestial देवताओं के 1000 साल देवताओं का एक दिन हमारा एक साल मुताबिक होता है. There, the one day of the devatas of the demigods is equal to 1 year of our lifespan. So like that 1000 years they both fought. Afterwards Krishna became tired, Vishnu, Bhagwan Vishnu. So he decided to take rest in a cave. He ran away and he took rest in a cave. So Mura came searching for Lord Vishnu. When he came searching for Vishnu, he saw him sleeping in a cave. So he became very puffed up by ego. What kind of Bhagavan he is? He is, sleeping here, cannot even fight with me. When he was thinking like that, the energy of Lord Vishnu could not tolerate the insult to Lord Vishnu. So the energy of Lord Vishnu came out and she took a form of a beautiful young lady with many arms. And she had different weapons in all her arms. And she challenged Mura that I will fight you. Don't you think about my master. I will fight you. And she started fighting with Mura and in the lightning speed, she defeated Mura and beheaded him. She killed him. When Mura was killed, Lord Vishnu woke up. Just like when we wake up when that work is done, they say, can you please do vacuum? I say, yeah, I'm coming in 2 minutes, I'll get vacuum done. And then the guests are going to come, there is no time, so somebody else will do the vacuum. Then you come running downstairs. I was about to do vacuum, why did you do it? You should have left it for me. Similarly, Lord Vishnu woke up. He says, oh, you killed him. I was going to kill him later on. But now since you killed him, what can I do for you? So she said that Mura was, I am telling you in a very short form. So she says Mura was very demoniac. He used to harass your devotees and he used to, he was very sinful because he was harassing your devotees. So today, I have killed the source of sin for your devotees. So, if you are very pleased, then please bless me that whoever observes fast on this day, on the day I killed Mura, all his sins will be removed and he will become your devotee. So that was an Ekadas day. According to the moon lunar cycle, it was the 11th day of the lunar cycle. So Bhagavan Vishnu said that since you appeared from my body on the 11th day of the lunar cycle, your name is Ekadashi. And I give you the boon that whoever fasts, observes your day, he will get, all his sins will be removed and he will become my devotee. He will be favorable by me. So she said, not only that, give me a blessing that whoever cannot fast, if he eats in the evening, then give him the fruit of half a fast. And then one who eats in the afternoon, he cannot even wait till evening. One who eats in the afternoon, give him 1/4 of the fruit of fast, which is equal to many thousands of years of stay in your Vaikuntha, and then when he comes back, he should become your devotee again. So Bhagavan Vishnu says, don't worry. Somehow somebody observes the fast of Ekadasi, he will become my devotee and he will come to my abode. Yeah? So this Ekadasi is very auspicious. It is considered to be very dear to Lord Vishnu. It is referred in Shastra as Harivasar. Harivasar means, Vas means to stay, Hari, Vas means to stay closely. So one which helps us to stay closely with Hari is called Harivasar. Or means one who helps to do that. One who helps to do Harivas for us. Nikatman. Just like Upavas. What is Upavas? Up means near, Vas means to stay. So when we do Upavas, we are trying to come closer to the Krishna. So similarly, Ekadasi Upavas, Krishna has blessed. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that whoever does Ekadasi becomes eligible for Krishna's bhakti. It was Krishna's mercy on me that in the family I was born, it was compulsory to do Ekadasi. My mother and my father never allowed us to eat anything else. So, what should one do on Ekadasi? How should one observe fast on Ekadasi? So it is told that whoever does Ekadasi will not eat any grains. Okay, so why not eating any grains on Ekadasi? It is said that when Krishna created this material world, in order to keep balance in the material world, we were talking about some natural laws and so on. He created a person called Papa Purus, a sin personified. His job was to, give reactions of wrong deeds to the people. So this Papa Purus, he used to punish people when they would do something wrong. So they would go to the hellish planets and they would suffer. One day, Vishnu was invited by Yamaraj for prasadam. So when he came, he heard a lot of crying. So he says, what is this noise coming from? Normally when I go to people's house, I see Bollywood songs playing and all this thing. I hear just crying in your house. What's going on? He says, Prabhuji, you are in Yamlok. Just downstairs is all the hellish planets. So people who are suffering, they are crying. So Lord Vishnu's heart melted. He says, poor souls. I am the creator, so I'm responsible for their misery also. Let me go and see them. So when he went to see them, everybody is raising their hand and they are crying, please save us, Lord Vishnu. So Lord Vishnu's heart melted. He says, I have to save them someday. So he says, okay, today is the 11th day of the lunar cycle. I give you blessing. You fast today. Whoever fasts today will be out of this hellish condition and they will come back to my home, to the abode, Vishnu Lok. So everybody started fasting Ekadasi and slowly Yamaraj was unemployed. Because nobody, this thing, went on like wildflower, fire. Yamaraj is completely unemployed. Nobody, no matter how many sins you do Ekadasi. I'm not encouraging you to do sins and then do Ekadasi. But however sinful you are, does Ekadasi, he goes to Krishna's abode. So the Papa Purus, who's supposed to give punishment for something wrong, he says, my God, I have nothing to do whole day. How much internet I can surf, right? It's a curve. I need some work. You just, created this new principle. You created this new principle that everybody is now absolved of their sins. Then, why did you create me? Get some arrangement for me. I also want to be employed. So Krishna said, okay, what should I do? Then he said, okay, I have asked them to fast. So the sins are all vanished when they fast. But I will make one arrangement. Instead of the sins getting vanished, I will put all the sins in the grains. So whoever eats grains on this day, the sins will come into them and you can impact them. Anybody else, you should not touch. So that is why the injunction is that on Ekadasi one should not eat any grains. What are grains? Wheat, rice, अनाज नहीं खाना चाहिए उस दिन. मूंग है, दाल है वगैरह सब नहीं खाना चाहिए. So what is ideal way to do Ekadasi? The purpose of Ekadasi is not just not to eat anything. There is 10 Indriya and 11th mind. All 11 of them, Ekadas, should be engaged in the service of Krishna as much as possible on that day. That is the real meaning of Ekadasi. And therefore, the devotees try to eat as minimum as possible. As minimum as possible. Because as we eat less, we sleep less. As we eat less, we don't have much work to do. Cooking is the biggest job. It's very perplexing. People cook so much, spend at least 1 hour to cook, right? 10 minutes to eat, another 1 hour to clean. Such an disproportionate thing it is to eat, right? So that much time is saved. So it is utilized in Krishna's bhakti. An ideal way to do Ekadasi is not eating anything or not drinking anything, not even water. That is the best way of doing Ekadasi. Okay? But it might be tough for some of us to do it that way. So then you can drink water once a day. It might be tough for some of us to do it that way also. So then you can drink as much water as you want, or as much juice or milk you want. If not, then some fruits once a day. But if nothing could be done, Baba, then there is Moraiya, there is Rajagraha, there is so many things. People make opulent feast on Ekadasis nowadays. Of Ekadasi Bhoga. Right? And it is so opulent, my God. You eat more on Ekadasi than other days nowadays. But even though, eat that, but please do not eat grains on Ekadasi. If you want to progress in spiritual life. So, I just wanted to talk about Ekadasi. There is a lot more to be said about Ekadasi, but it's, I think, prasadam time. So I don't want to talk about fasting while it's eating. But I would encourage devotees to do Ekadasi somehow. And that day, please try to schedule the work in such a way that you're not so much engaged in work. Try to make as much time. That day, just read PDF files at work. Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, all this PDF. Read at work. See minimum, do minimum on that day. Normally we do it anyway, minimum. But that day especially do minimum. Because we have to observe Ekadasi nicely. And then come home early, don't sit till 7, 8 o'clock. Bichari wife thinks you're working so hard. But just come home early that day, have nice, do something for Thakurji. Extra aarti, extra shringar, something like that. And everybody here should try to observe Ekadasi fast. If nothing, it is good for the health. Because one day the body shuts down. Okay? Every factory, they have a shutdown period in the factory. In the shutdown period, what happens? Nobody comes to work. Only technicians go. They open up the machines, they service the machines and all those things. So when the body is shut down for 24 hours, it starts fixing itself inside. And then next day morning, just take a little bit Charnamrit and slowly reignite the fire. Not that, eat a large pizza at 10 o'clock in the morning. I have been fasting. Some people, they wait for 12 o'clock. As soon as it is 12:01, okay, take out everything and they open the fridge and start eating. No. Ekadasi, we follow, Indian calendar is lunar cycle. Suryodaya to Suryodaya. So all fast, not only Ekadasi, all fast is from sunrise to sunrise. So no 12 o'clock business, please. So I will end here. Any questions, any comments? But I want to humbly request all the devotees, few things. Yes, Mataji. Let Boli.
Is it like, how many Ekadasis follow in the whole 365 days? If it is the 11th day.
If it is 11 days, there are normally 24 Ekadasis in 365 days. 24. Every month, 2 Ekadasis come. So there are 24 Ekadasis. But Mataji asked a very intelligent question. Suppose we are not able to observe Ekadasis. And please do not take my advice on this one. But there is one Ekadasi called Bhima Ekadasi. Nirjala Ekadasi. Bhima or Nirjala Ekadasi. On that day, if somebody fasts without any food or water, he will get the benefit of doing all Ekadasis in a full year. But, so please don't do like that. Don't do any and then do only one. One should do all of them. So, but somehow if we have made a mistake and Ekadasi is broken or something, then by observing Bhima Ekadasi properly, that is rectified. Acha, if today is Ekadasi and somehow we forgot, or we were going at work and they gave us a donut and we put it in our mouth and then we realized, oh man, abhi tak nigala nahi hai, to chalega. You just spit it out. That's not Ekadasi. It's gone. But you can fast. You can start fasting the same day, but then on Dwadasi, you should fast again. That is considered same as Ekadasi. Any Amaya?
द्वादशी को भी सेम मिस्टेक
अब मैं तो भगवान ही बचावे नहीं फिर नेक्स्ट टाइम करना ये बहुत फास्ट किया तो घर का काम कौन करेगा So I humbly want to request that all devotees should at least chant whatever you can chant, how many number of rounds, please chant. And you yourself will see a difference in 6 months. And the second thing is that all devotees should try to do Ekadasi. No matter how much you want to eat, but do Ekadasi. Ekadasi is very important. And slowly, Krishna will give us tolerance. Our children should be taught how to do Ekadasi. In Shastra it is said, anybody more than 6 years of age, we have relaxed it, 8 years of age, let's say, 8 to 80, everybody should do Ekadasi. Unless you are very sick and you cannot eat, then of course it is okay. But less than 80 and more than 8, encourage to do Ekadasi. हमारे घर में तो बचपन से ही एकादशी के दिन कोई भी आ जाए, ग्रेन्स किसी को नहीं मिलेगा. एकादशी सबको करनी है. तो आदत पड़ जाती है. बच्चों को अपने ऐसा सिखा दिया ना, वो कितने भी बड़े हो जाए, किधर भी घूमे, वो एकादशी करेंगे ही करेंगे. आदत पड़ जाती है. और ठाकुर जी की इतनी कृपा हो जाती है बच्चों के ऊपर कि उनके ऊपर ये भौतिक जगत का कोई असर नहीं होता. वो भक्ति बनता है, अच्छा ही रहता है बच्चे. पर ये सब बचपन से देना पड़ता है। कुछ एक्सेप्शंस होते हैं कि कुछ असर नहीं करता मेरे जैसा, बाकी ठीक है। एनी अदर क्वेश्चंस, कमेंट्स और प्रसादम का? ठीक, हरे कृष्ण। महाप्रसाद गोविंदे नाम ब्राह्मणी वैष्णवे स्वल्प पुण्यव्रतम राजन विश्वास निभजायते शरीरा विद्यजाल जड़ेन्द्रियतः काल जीवे फैले विषय सागरे तारा मध्य जीवाति लोभो मोहे सुदुर्मति ताके जेता कठिन संसारे कृष्ण बड़ा दयामय कोरी वार जिभाजय स्वाप्रसाद अन्न दिलो भई से अन्नमृत पाओ राधा कृष्ण गुण गाओ प्रेम दाखो श्री चैतन्य निताय श्री श्री किशोर किशोरी महाप्रसादम की
जय।
And Subrat thinking, oh, I have no choice. But Ekadasi comes 2 times in a month. Only he is happy to listen about Ekadasi.
He's less than 8.
That's why he is happy. It is not applicable to me. So Ekadasi is important because it is very dear to Krishna. Krishna says that one who observes Ekadasi for me, I become his closest friend. Just like Krishna was friends with whom? What is the name of his friend? Sudama. What is his another friend's name? Anybody's watched Krishna the cartoon? There are many friends. Madhumangal. Who's Dadilobha? Who's Dadilobha? So who's Dadilobha in here?
He's a monkey.
How about that? So who's Dadilobha in here? So Krishna becomes his dear friend. So Ekadasi, in the house, your mommy and daddy are doing Ekadasi. So one day we also follow Ekadasi. Ekadasi, what you do is you eat as much cheese you want, as much yogurt you want, as much fruit, as much milk, and whatever mommy papa cooks, you eat. And you help them to serve Krishna. You can make garlands, you can offer prasad to him, you can dress them, you can bath them, you can do danvat to Krishna on Ekadasi day. That much you do. Every Ekadasi morning you go in Krishna's room, offer extra 5 danvats. You know how to do danvats? Everybody knows how to do danvats? Prabhuji? Danvat, you know how to do? What is danvat? You go like this, fall flat in front of Krishna. You do that? He does, right? Okay, then you do like 5 times. That is simple Ekadasi. 5 times danvat to Krishna, all children, on Ekadasi day. And then try to help your parents to dress Krishna or bathe him. It's fun to bathe Krishna. Or when they make, one offering, then you take the thali from kitchen to his place. Sit down in front of him and tell him, you have to eat now.